Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine and safe at your home. Just now, you have completed your periodic test 2, and we have to start. Few topics are left for this final term, in which first we are going to discuss probability. Circles and statistics we will complete in the month of January. So, today I am going to discuss first few terms related to probability, in which first I have chosen the topic experiment. In probability, we are discussing some general life questions. First, I am writing its definition. An operation which can produce some well-defined outcomes is called an experiment. Each outcome is called an event. Suppose we are tossing a coin. You know, when a coin is tossed, then you are having two outcomes, either head or tail. These are the two possibilities. So, an operation means if any experiment is performed, like here we are tossing a coin, which can produce some well-defined outcomes. Here you can see only two outcomes, head and tail can come. So, these are two outcomes and each outcome is called an event. So, here H and T are known as event. Similarly, if we will throw a die, then the possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Can anyone tell me that when you are throwing a die, 7 can come? No, it cannot come. The only possibilities are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this means any experiment or any operation which we are performing which are producing some well-defined outcomes. This type of experiment is considered under probability. One by one we will see some more examples. Now we will discuss random experiment. An experiment in which all possible outcomes are known and the exact outcome cannot be predicted in advance is called a random experiment. Let us suppose in your class I took a maths test and the marks of the test is 100 and the number of students appear for the test are 40. You think we can predict the marks that a student will score in between 0 to 100. But which student will score 100 and which is going to score 0 and which student will score 80 or 82? That cannot be predicted in advance. So this type of experiment is known as random experiment, in which we are knowing all possible outcomes. We know that students will score in between 0 to 100, but we don't know that which student is going to score how much marks. Exact outcome cannot be predicted is called a random experiment. Now we will see some more terms. Now we will discuss very important part of probability, empirical probability. N, let us suppose N denotes number of trials. Suppose any experiment is performed n number of times and empirical probability for happening of an event E is defined as P of E is equal to number of trials in which the event happened divided by total number of trials. Let us suppose we perform or we toss a coin 10 times and head appeared suppose 2 times. Then empirical probability of head is 2 divided by number of times the experiment performed. It's 2 by 10 or it is 1 by 5. Let us discuss few more questions based on probability. Very important thing, student, I want to discuss with you that for any experiment, let us suppose E1, E2, E3 are the 3 events. Then empirical probability of E1 plus empirical probability of E2 plus empirical probability of E3. The sum will be equal to 1. Let us suppose we are tossing a coin. Again I am taking a very simple example. The number of possible outcomes are H and T. H is the first event, E1. T is the second event, E2. Then P of E1 plus P of E2 means P of H plus P of T. The sum should be equal to 1. Let us suppose we tossed a coin 10 times in which head appeared 2 times and tail appeared, suppose if 2 times head appeared and coin is tossed 10 times, then clearly tail appeared 8 times. Then P of head will be 2 by 10 and P of tail will be 8 by 10. Let us add these two, P of H plus P of T. It is 2 by 10 plus 8 by 10. Is it coming 10 by 10 or it is 1? So this means for any experiment, it happens that empirical probability of each event, the sum will be equal to 1. And you can see here PE1 was P of H and PE2 was P of T. So we can see that this event is complementary of this event, or I can say this event is complementary of this event. Now students, we will discuss exercise 15.1 question number 1, which says in a cricket match a batswoman hit a boundary 6 times out of 30 balls she plays. Find the probability that she did not hit a boundary. So here you can see number of times batswoman played, it's 30 times, and she hits a boundary 6 times. So can we calculate that number of times she did not hit a boundary? It's 30 minus 6, which is 24. Now we have to calculate empirical probability of she did not hit a boundary. So how many times she did not hit a boundary? It's 24 times. So it is 24 divided by number of times she played is 30. So let us solve this. By 6 we can cancel. We will get 4 by 5. Now come to the next question. Question number 2 says 1500 families with 2 children were selected randomly and the following data were recorded. So here you can see this data I have written here. Number of girls in a family. Number of girls in a family. Number of families. So you can see, you can observe this data. You can see the number of girls in a family 2. And how many families we are getting of such kind? 475. This means in 475 family, number of girls is 2. Similarly, 814 families having girl child 1 and 211 families has no girl child. So here we have to compute the probability of a family chosen at random having 2 girls. So P 2 girls. The survey. In survey, how many families surveys is done? It is 1500 family. So 475 families having 2 girls. So I wrote here number of favorable outcome or number of family in which 2 girls are there is 475 divided by number of families in which the survey is done is 1500. So, when you simplify this, you will get 19 by 60. Probability of 1 girl means in survey we are getting 814 families in which number of girl child is 1. So it is 814 divided by 1500. And similarly, probability of no girl child is 211 by 1500. Question number 3 says, refer to example number 5, section 14.4, chapter 14. Find the probability that a student of the class was born in August. If you see this example is given in page number 247. If you see this bar graph carefully, this is the bar graph, page number 247, which says in a particular section of class 9, 40 students were asked about the month of their birth and the following graph was prepared for the data so obtained. If you observe this graph carefully, you can see the number of students born in the month of August is 6 and the number of students taken under this observation is 40 students. So we can write empirical probability of a student born in the month of August is 6 by 40. How many students born in the month of August? Is 6 and the total student was taken under observation was 40. So this can be cancelled by 2. It's 3 by 20. So we are getting our required probability is 3 by 20. Now question number 4 says 3 coins are tossed simultaneously 200 times. with the following frequencies of different outcomes. Here outcomes are written and here frequency is written. If you'll observe the table carefully, you can see 3 heads appeared 23 times, 2 head appeared 72 times, 1 head appeared 77 times and no head appeared 28 times. No head means in all the 3 coins we got tails. So here the question says if the 3 coins are simultaneously tossed again, compute the probability of 2 heads coming up. So how many times the coins are tossed? It's 200 times. So how many times we are getting 2 heads? 72 divided by number of times coin tossed are 200. So you can simplify this. You will get 9 by 25 is the required probability. Now see, question number 5 says an organization selected 2400 families at random and surveyed them to determine a relationship between income level and number of vehicles in a family. So the information gathered is listed in the table below. You can see here monthly income in rupees given and vehicles per family is given. Here 0. This 0 denotes that 0 number of vehicles. So here you can see this data represent less than 7,000. There are 10 families in which 0 vehicle or no vehicle is there, whose income is less than 7,000. Similarly, families having income 7,000 to 10,000. No vehicle in the family is 0 family of such kind they got. Similarly, if the family income is between 10,000 to 13,000, there is 1 family in which no vehicle is there. Similarly, this data is given. You can very well understand from here. Now, the first question says, suppose a family is chosen. Find the probability that the family chosen is number 1. Earning rupees 10,000 to 13,000 per month and owning exactly 2 vehicles. You see here properly, the category which is given to us 10,000 to 13,000 and the family is owning exactly 2 vehicles. If we move like this, so 0 vehicle, how many family? 1. 1 vehicle 535. Exactly 2 vehicles. And number of family, how many families is there? 29. So 29 divided by number of families under survey is 2400. So your answer is 29 divided by 2400. Now in second question we have to find probability of those families earning rupees 16,000 or more per month and owning exactly 1 vehicle. You can see 16,000 or more. How many families are having exactly 1 vehicle? If you will come down, you can see 579 families are there in which only 1 vehicle is there. So it is 579 divided by 2400. Now you see the third part says earning less than rupees 7,000 per month and does not own, earning less than rupees 7,000 per month and does not own any vehicle. This is third one. So you can see earning rupees less than 7,000 but no vehicle, owning 0 vehicle. No vehicle is there. So here how many families we are getting of such kind? 10 families. So 10 divided by 2400. So 1 0 can get cancelled and it is 1 by 240. Now question number 4 says earning rupees 30,000 to 16,000 per month and owning more than 2 vehicles. You can see families earning 30,000 to 16,000 and having vehicle more than 2. So how many families we are getting of such kind? 25 divided by 2400. We can cancel like this. We will get 1 by 96. Now last one says owning not more than 1 vehicle. So not more than 1 vehicle means this 0 vehicle and 1 vehicle. Both the families will be added together. So 10, 1, 2 and 1 is 14, and when you will add all this with 14, you will get 2062 families are having number of vehicles. Either they don't have any vehicle or they have one vehicle. So we have 2062 families having only one vehicle, not more than one vehicle, divided by families 2400, which is coming under survey. When you cancel these two, we will have 1031 divided by 1200. So the required probability is 1031 divided by 1200. Now students, I have completed till question number 5. Your homework is exercise 15.1. Question number 6 to 13, all the questions you will make, and exercise 19 of R.S. Agrawal book. Happy winter holidays and happy Christmas to all of you. In advance, happy new year also. So student, enjoy your holidays. In the month of January, we will start circles and statistics. Thank you.